Hello and welcome to Untold Lives of Women with me, your host, the Nairobi Feminist. Welcome back to another exciting episode. I know it's been over a week, but we are finally back. And I have some really amazing guests lined up, so make sure you catch us every Friday without missing. And before you go anywhere, please don't forget to subscribe. You can catch us on all social media platforms, and you can also catch us on all platforms that host podcasts. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, iHeartRadio. Basically, just search Untold Lives of Women and you will find us. So without any further ado, I'll have my guest introduce herself and we can carry on from there.
Wow, you have such an amazing voice. It's
Thank
sending
you.
shockwaves all around and giving me good vibes. My name is Wambui Ochieng. I am a feminist. I am a writer, a poet, and I am just a woman living through this life and fighting for myself and for those who want to fight with me, and just realizing myself in this journey, learning and unlearning, of just living the best life I can live, being the best version of myself, trying to search for myself over and over again, just thriving. That's it.
So you're the founder of quite a few organizations as well. Could you share with us some of the organizations that you run?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm the queen of movements and projects. So I run Gemini Spice magazine, which is the first product of Gemini Spice Studios. Gemini Spice magazine retells the stories of African women, because we feel that these stories have been told, but they've been told in a patriarchal lens, from a male perspective, and now we want to tell them from a woman's point of view. So that's the work Gemini Spice magazine does. You can find us on our website and other social media platforms. We just want to tell the stories, retell the stories of African women. Like when you hear about Wangari Maathai, who do you know she was? Like, I remember in school I was told she was a woman who used to sit on the backs of men, and when I grew up and I read about Wangari Maathai, I'm like, oh my god, that was not the person I was introduced to. So we are retelling these stories, and so that's Gemini Spice magazine. More is coming with Gemini Spice Studios, but that's what we have for now. I'm also the founder of Sikimyii. Now, Sikimyii is a feminist movement geared toward ending sexual violence, and we do this by, one, creating awareness and educating people about what is sexual violence, the different types of sexual violence, because it is so widespread and not talked about. So we want to amplify that voice. And the second thing we do with Sikimyii, apart from creating awareness, is linking victims to services and agencies that are relevant in helping them when they have been sexually assaulted. So that's Sikimyii and Gemini Spice magazine. When I'm not running these organizations, I am writing poetry, sleeping, trying to keep my hair moisturized and my face glowing, and just living life the best way I can as a woman.
I applaud you for what you're doing, because it is true. A lot of the times we go through, we hear about some of the strongest women. We always get it from a negative perspective, and no one really wants to talk about what they've done, what they actually had to go through to get to where they are. And, it brings me back to being a feminist in this country and being a feminist in general, because my experience of being a feminist in being the Nairobi feminist is, when the people hear feminist, it's always a negative thing. So what has been your experience of being a Kenyan feminist?
Oh, first of all, I applaud you for, just being so bold and calling yourself the Nairobi feminist. That is so bold. I mean, I found you and I was like, wow, there is a woman who is boldly calling herself feminist. Well, so many women have feminist thoughts, live feminist life, enjoy the privileges of feminism, but can't call themselves feminists because, we are in Kenya, Africa. We have been cast to always, everyone, okay, most the people who have branded feminism as a bad name is the patriarchy men. They know what feminism is, so they don't. Feminism shakes the foundation of patriarchy, so they have to brand it as a very bad thing. Even the women, the young women who grow up hearing about feminists, even me, when I was growing up hearing the word feminist, I was like, oh my god, those are bad women. Everyone branded them bad women. Even single mothers. What are to the name feminist? The single mothers, single ladies, just any woman who has decided to, stand on her own, live a different life other than the one where you are living as a subject of a man and selling your giving subservience for subsistence. If you're not living that kind of life, well, you're a bad woman. And I experienced this growing up. When I was growing up, I saw these women, single women, and I was very proud of them, women who are breaking barriers that are in the world, and I was so proud of them. But I was in the church and they were looked at as very negative women. And when I started writing about women, even without knowing what feminism is, okay, with the thought that feminists are bad women, when I started writing my personal blog, I was one day I wrote about women coming together, and this friend of mine was like, you see, this girl is a feminist, and he said it in a very, very, very bad tone, and I was like, no, I'm not a feminist, and having heard these stories. But then when I started my own research, started listening to feminists, looking at who feminists are, what feminism is, I realized, oh my god, I am feminist. And now I'm going to use that word however I feel like. I am really, really, really sad about the women who do not know what feminism is, the women who live feminist life but they can't call themselves feminists because of the bad PR that feminism has. But we gotta thrive. The moment you call yourself a feminist, you just accept that whatever you will get in this world is bad vibes. You just accept. There are things that can't change. You just accept and you live your life.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
I feel personally, I've come to understand that, for in general, when it comes to men and women, the thought of women not needing a man just is something that we can't get over, and men specifically can't get over that, because we have been told that you need a man to take care of you. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad. Personally, I won't lie. I like to be taken care of, and I think every woman does, yeah. But what feminists and feminism is for those women who choose not to want to be taken care of. They want to do things by themselves. They want to get into workspaces. They want to do the things that men have been said to only do, We are giving voice to them. We are now saying, this is what I want to do and I will do it because I can do it,
Exactly.
And yes, it's so hard because a lot of people are afraid of the word feminist. But, the more we stand up and we say, it doesn't matter what you feel or how you feel, because if there wasn't a woman who was a feminist who stood up and said women should read, women should go to school, a woman can get a job, a woman can wear pants. If a woman like that didn't exist, we wouldn't be able, none of us would be able to live our dreams as is. Yeah?
And even a woman enjoying life, we forget that. We as feminists, I think we usually forget that even just going to the spa once in a year and having yourself, waxing, being massaged, taking care of your nails, looking beautiful, just thriving in your womanhood, loving your womanhood, loving it when you're on your period, loving it when you're ovulating and you feel sexy and you wear that red lipstick and you can walk through the streets of Nairobi like you don't give a fuck. I mean, that's also part of it, like just being a woman and not being apologetic about it, not shying off, putting your face straight and looking at people in the eye, doing your makeup, loving yourself, wearing the heels, moving people out of the streets with just a stare, not just being a woman, not hanging your head in shame, just looking up and walking and saying, I own this world, and you run it, like, just being yourself.
Exactly. We
Oh,
should be free to be who we are. So,
exactly.
okay, in your own life and your own experience, for you to
Yeah.
start to have this passion towards women, is there
Mm.
something that you encountered in your own life that made you feel like this is wrong and this shouldn't happen to me or any other woman? That made you say, I'm going to be the voice for those who can't speak for themselves.
Isn't that the foundation of feminism? I mean,
It
what
is.
hasn't happened to me that made me not want to do this? Tell the stories of women, fight against these injustices. It's everything. I mean, I am sure even you had this voice when you were a young girl, right? When you saw your uncle beating your auntie or your father beating your mother, or when you saw a man kicking a woman out of the way, you just felt these things from when you were little. I mean, that's the case for all feminists. Well, it's not different from me. For me, I just felt like that. Like, seriously, the moment I started having feelings, these were the first feelings I was having. I was like, there's something wrong with this place I'm living in. There's something wrong with this earth. The things that were so normal. I used to ask questions about everything. And, my mom would want to shut me up in the presence of guests and relatives, because I'm the kind of person who does mbona anko afanyi, mbona auntie ndio anafanya, just asking all questions. And yeah, just my experience as a woman. I mean, if you're a woman living in this world, you've got to question it all. Everything is weird when you're living life as a woman, when you're getting spanked, when you're getting raped, when your friends are being raped, when
Yeah.
when everything is just happening. Yeah, so it's just everything. I mean, I'm shocked that there are women who just sit around and just don't fight in their lives, or with movements, or with the way they embrace femininity. I am
Yeah.
shocked that there are not more of us who are doing this, because all of these things are normal. If we talk about rape, I will think. I used to think I was one of the few women who have been raped when I was young, but then I grow up, I start sharing stories, and more women share, and I'm like, which woman hasn't been raped then? It's not
Yeah.
it's not like women who've been raped are a special case. It's not the one out of three. It's the two out of three that never talk about it, that will never ever talk about it, because that's just how it is. So there's no real goal. There's no, I was passionate about this. Just, there is no other way to live this life. You fight through anything the way that you can. So me, I'm fighting with my writing, my activism, my poetry, my body, walking this street, talking, just being myself. I just live this life, because we are here. We do what we are supposed to do either way.
Exactly. And we don't take a day off. We still have to play
Mm,
every single role, and even
yes.
the roles we create for ourselves. And, we have
Mm,
to, we're in an unfair position most of the time. And,
yeah.
I agree with you. And that's why I feel it's important to share stories for women to
Mm,
come together and shape the future generations.
yeah.
Because, what's happened is the people who are living now were brought up a certain way. They were told this is all right, yeah. But if
Yes.
as women, it's our job to birth these humans, yeah. So
Mm,
we
mm-hmm,
have to birth them, and as women,
mm,
we have to sit together,
mm,
and say, I'm going to raise my child to
mm-hmm.
see that this is not what they should go through, and they should not accept certain things. They
Yeah.
should be able to ask questions when they see things are going wrong. Because, my daughter asked me a question because she was supposed to do something, and
Yeah.
I just told her it's okay. She couldn't do something because, like, okay, I can't remember the instance, but it was
Yeah.
something about one of my nephews, and
Mm.
she had to do it and he couldn't do it.
Uh,
So it was an unfair instance, and in that moment
yeah.
I realized, like, I've just repeated a cycle.
Yeah.
So I had to stop myself in that
Mm,
moment and be like, no,
mm-hmm.
equality. I have
Yeah.
to show her it has to be an equal playing field,
Yeah.
and as long as you show your kids that, that, when they start to raise their kids,
Mm.
they'll be able to teach them the same thing.
Mm.
In your,
I don't know. Yes, yes, please continue.
no, carry on.
I've always been, I question myself a lot. I wonder, I am not a mother. I mean, I'm glad you can notice when these things arise, but I've always wondered if all of us have grown up in a patriarchal culture. We grew up in this patriarchal culture. We are patriarchy. We are products of patriarchy. It's just that we are lucky enough to see some of the things that make up that patriarchal structure, but we are also part of it. Like, there are things that I do and I realize, oh my god, that is so patriarchal. Like, I found myself a while back judging some years back before I really opened my eyes. I found myself judging women, like Nicki Minaj, Doja Cat, Sawiti. I was looking at them and I was saying, I was in a conversation about objectification. And I was looking at these women and I was so convinced that they were objectifying themselves. But then later on, I started learning about the male gaze, and I'm realizing, and I'm listening to these women, and I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm looking at them being very proud of their femininity, like a woman wearing a thong and a bra and saying, you know what, this is my body, I love it like this and I'm proud of it and I'm not going to hide it. And call it whatever you want to call it. Men will call it objectification, to women it's glorification. So
Exactly.
I don't know how are you able to catch yourself, because I wonder, if I had a daughter, would I, because I've been brought up in a patriarchal culture. I live in patriarchy. I see it in my parents, I see it in myself. How am I going to raise a daughter who, without bringing to her this patriarchy, with how can I be aware of it when it comes, how can I catch myself?
One thing that on my journey of
Mm.
self-discovery, I had
Mm.
to, it started with self-discovery. I had to
Yeah.
identify what was happening around me, and then at the
Mm.
same time I had to look within myself to
Yeah.
see, why am I a certain way, why is it, you have to understand why certain things have been a certain way. Some
Yeah.
of the things that happen we can't explain, because it's
Mm.
patriarchy. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I believe in self-awareness.
Mm.
Like, when you're having negative thoughts, you should be able to
Mm.
tell yourself, I don't want to have these negative thoughts, stop,
Yeah.
and then start to say positive things.
Yeah.
That's been my approach to life. Whenever I'm very conscious about what I'm saying, I'm thinking through what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you're in the middle of a conversation, you'll say something,
Mm.
don't be afraid to take it back when you've said something
Yeah.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
as long as you're aware of what you're saying and your environment,
Mm.
you
Mm.
should be able to stop yourself and accept, like, I'm not perfect. I call myself the Nairobi feminist, but maybe there are ways someone else will be like, you're not feminist enough. But
Yeah.
everyone has their own degrees of doing things. But what you
Yeah.
have to be able to do is, I'm not going to allow my kids or my nephews or my nieces to grow up in an environment where I enable
Mm.
the thoughts of a man can do this and a woman can't.
Yeah.
So it's thoughts like those that have made me more aware, and it
Yeah.
makes me know that, if I can do this, anyone else can do it, because you see, we're all the same in the sense
Yeah.
of we are given the free will. And because we
Yeah.
have free will, we can tell, if this is right, if this is wrong. And I feel like more of us need to be able to say, this is wrong and I will not accept it. And you just say, I am not going to accept it. Because once you choose that, you end up changing someone else's life. Because you see, if there were no, I'm sure like you encountered women in since you started your organizations, that there are women who have come up to you and been like, wow, I love what you do and you've inspired me, And it's, if you don't use your voice and your platform to do some of these things, you'll never be able to impact someone else's life, So even if it's a conversation with a friend, even if it's a conversation with a family member, even if it's a conversation with your mom, if you're brought up in
Yeah.
an environment where you can't speak up,
Mm.
in that moment, just keep quiet and find a quiet room where you can now sit down with maybe an elder or the person who has said something that's offensive, and then have a conversation with it, because we're at an age where we have to communicate. If you if you've da- if you for example, if you're with your relatives, and I feel like because there's so many men around them, they start to tell them, put women in their place. Don't be afraid to speak out and say this is wrong. And don't be afraid to speak up when you see a woman is going through something. She's being shamed for what she's wearing. She's being, abused physically and emotionally and verbally abused. And you're just quiet, You can't, you have to stand up and show that I'm there for you, even if I don't know you, You can't, so many times, especially with gender-based violence, with what you do, there's so many times, even your neighbor, for example, is being abused.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go and interrupt, but what could you do? You can call the police, yeah? You can call, because there are people available to stop this. You can go and call the watchman, the security guard, to come and stop the fight, without you physically going there. There are ways that you can stop. You can go and knock on the door and say, are you okay? Or you can, you find a way to break what's going on in that moment. And you see, you're standing up for someone else. And that can be something so small, but that could basically save someone's life. So I feel like it's just important. We need to start caring about each other, and not just ourselves. Because you need to ask yourself, if I was in the same situation, would I want everyone to look at me like nothing has happened, And as women, I also feel like it's really important for us to say, I'm not going to, what was she wearing? Oh, she was raped. Okay, now you see what she was wearing, and then you add to the conversation. What happens the day you're feeling, I need to look gorgeous, and you put on a dress, and your dress maybe is too short, and the same thing happens to you, and someone else has the same thing.
Yeah. I get you. I feel you. You're preaching to the choir here.
I know.
Yeah, but I feel, what you said, that you can always go back and correct yourself. This feminism journey is a journey where you make mistakes. But thank God that the feminist movement is the one movement that is always accepting to change. That you get to a certain level, you feel that, no, I used to think this way, but now I think like this, and this is still feminism, and I still call myself a feminist.
Exactly.
That's the best thing about this movement. It can change.
So in your own life, who has been that woman for you? That woman who was a feminist before you even knew it, and you looked up to her? Or it could be your mom, it could be anyone in your life. Or maybe one woman did something for you that made you be like, wow, I want to be like this woman. Who was that woman for you?
So many, I don't know, so many.
No, there has to be one that stands out.
That one, I guess my high school principal. She said something I didn't think was possible. Okay, we had two high school principals, the first one and the second one. So the second one was a very dictatorial person. She made our lives hell. But the first one, she never called herself feminist or anything, but when we were in high school, she told us about men coming into our dormitories. And at that time, I was so afraid of such instances. We used to think, oh my God, what if a man entered our dormitory? What would we do? And everybody would be like, oh, I'll enter under the bed. I will run to the toilet, such things. But she stood up and she used to give us these speeches. Every parade, she will just tell us of our strength as women. She just used to enforce that, telling us about real life issues, like one day you will meet a snake and it will bite you and you'll be alone in a desert. What will you do? Such things. So this one time she told us, I've heard that some of you are afraid that a man will come into your dormitory. What are you afraid of? If a man comes into your dormitory, just use a blanket. You're so many of you, and just 6 of you can throw a blanket on him, wrap him up, beat him, and call the guards. That's all you should do. And at that point in my life, I did not believe that I could do that. I'm in Form 1, and I'm thinking, oh my God, a man, like we can actually do that. And I thrived at that, thrilled at that idea. I really loved it. I actually got empowered. I thought, actually, yeah, if a man ever came to our dormitory, that's exactly what I'll do. I won't scream, I won't hide under the bed, because there's been so many instances you hear that men got into a girl's dormitory and raped women, raped girls, and other girls hid under the bed or just froze on the bed, such things. But this principle of ours told us never to, just take shit, just, we are so strong. And, that unity in women, telling us that you're so many and just 6 of you can do wonders. I, we miss out on that, and I hate that. That unity. That's one thing I envy in men, that they are so united that even when they are saying the most stupid thing, I saw this in campus, that one man will say something so stupid, and every other man will, just come with him, and they will continue their stupidity and prove their stupidity, and it does not matter how stupid they will look, they will be united. They are so much in solidarity. But women, we miss out on that. We are, when a woman says something, another woman, I hate that we are not united. And that's the thing about feminism, like before I discovered myself and I was calling myself a feminist, I thought it was good to be in a boys' club, Like in school, boys were doing everything. So I was in this media house. We started with boys and we were doing things, but I was trying to bring in stories of women, and no one saw the importance. And the other woman, because we were 2 women and 9 men, this other woman didn't also find these topics I brought about women important, but these men could gang up and, we're going to discuss the bro code, and all of them were like, yeah. And this woman too will be like, yeah, let's discuss the bro code, it's going to be amazing. And then I'm like, no, I want us to discuss about rape culture in this campus, and no one will support that. It's that unity in women. So back to my principal, she taught me that we have so much power, and second, we have so much power when we are united, more than when we are divided. And it's always that. That's the thing about women. We are united we are strong. Yes, we are stronger than men, but only when we are united. But finding that unity is so difficult, and it's so. I feel so bad about it, but it is what it is. But if I can find you, me, another woman who doesn't want all this politics about is trying to side with men, trying to look good in front of men, just the sisterhood. That sisterhood is so important. The sisterhood is what is important. It's the sisterhood, That's all. Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. It's always it's always a good feeling when you hear another woman saying, we need to talk about this. So is there anything that you would like my audience to know about some of the projects you're working on? Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
So much. Oh my God, I never thought you'd ask. Sikimyii. I said that Sikimyii is the movement we are working with. It's an anti-rape movement, an anti-sexual violence movement, where we are working towards eradicating sexual violence. That is a long journey. We are aware of it. We know sexual violence is not going to end tomorrow. We know it is not going to end in 2026. We know it's a long journey. We know that people have to be educated, that we have to, go all around Kenya educating girls, empowering girls, and leaving this for the next generation of women who will take it up. So we are aware that it is not happening tomorrow, but we are still going to fight. So we are creating awareness. We have a magazine issue that we released in last year, December, and oh my God, I am so proud of this magazine issue. When I brought a team together to work on this magazine, we thought, oh my God, how are we going to make a magazine issue about sexual violence? And we looked for examples of magazines that have been there that were focused solely on sexual violence, and there wasn't a magazine online. I searched online. I spent nights, because I wanted a format, a formula, a certain way to do this, somebody to guide me on how to do this, because I had never done it. But there is no magazine solely dedicated to sexual violence, educating people, protesting, giving people the power to speak up, showing other movements that have done this, sharing survivor stories, because it is the evidence that people are looking for, the evidence that you ask for when you go to courts. It's the stories of survivors, it's the stories of these women who are abused by their uncles, who are abused by their fathers, who are abused by men they trusted. So that is what we did with our magazine issue. We compiled all this, the stories, we educated people, we said we educated on the different forms of sexual violence, because sexual violence is not only rape, it is FGM, it is any kind of violence that is, it is of a sexual nature. So we've got such an amazing magazine issue. We are still selling it. A hard copy goes for 1,200, a soft copy goes for 850. Now, the reason why we are selling this magazine, I wish we could give it out for free, but then we can't. We are fundraising for an app. We have an app, a sikimyii app. This app is supposed to bring together organizations that can help a woman or a man when they have been sexually assaulted. So it is lawyers, it is psychologists, it is healers, it is NGOs, it is police, it is every person that you need when you, oh my god, what is happening? Oh, okay, sorry, my my light just went off. So it is every person that a person needs when they've been abused. So everyone. So that is what we are doing. For the next 2 years, we are working together to bring all these, the police, lawyers, NGOs, and healers, therapists, doctors together, so that we can consolidate this app. So that is what this app is about. That when somebody has been abused, they never know what to do. Most people are in a state of shock. But yes, so you don't know what to do. The first thing you think is like you're going to go to the bathroom and wash the scum out of your body. But with this app, that we hope we are going to get the money to advertise so that every woman can access it. This app will tell you exactly what to do. When you log into the app, it will tell you. We will have people who have shared stories. We'll have somebody to guide you through. We'll have somebody to tell you, this is the first step. This is the first step. The first step is going to hospital. Now, these are the hospitals that are available in your area. You can go here. This is the way to go. Like somebody to guide you through the entire process. If you need somebody to walk with you, call this person. Will come and get you and take you to all these places. This is an NGO that can help you. Report to this person. Go to the police now. After this, do this, do this, do this. That is exactly what we want with this app. And we are fundraising for it. Every money that comes from the magazine will go to the app. So that's what we are doing. This app is going to be a revolution for women. So we need funding. We need people who can help spread word out there. People who can help us, because I am this one woman working here, and every time I have something, I call on people, and I've been so blessed that people come through. But I also need help, writers, people who can manage social media, because I have so much going on. So if I can get people who can help, it will be such an honor. People who can tell me about people who are granting, about grants that are available for this kind of thing. Tell me, talk to me, just open up, share. Share. Any organization that helps people who have been through gender-based violence, physical violence, or sexual violence, call us, talk to us. We'll feature you on our magazine. We'll feature you on our website and our social media. We'll feature you, partner with you in our app. I mean, we just want to bring together all these people, because, there are so many NGOs and organizations that are doing great work out there, but nobody knows them. So how about having one place where you can access all of these people? That is the idea of the sikimyii app. And yeah, I just want to see this come through. Oh, I want to see this come through. Yeah, and
wow.
Yeah. So
That's amazing. And I will be willing to help you, to partner with you in any way that you need, because what you're doing and your vision for this app is what we need. Your magazine is everything we need. So whenever you need any help getting the word out, just definitely reach out to me, because I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love what you're doing. I love the
Mm.
passion you have, and I love. Oh, I just this app is going to do big things. Just not
Yeah.
for just for you, but for so many other people, and
The
all the more
people who it
reason to
can help.
ensure that it gets exactly.
Mm.
So is there anything else you'd like to say before we end the live?
Uh, Gemini Spice magazine tells the stories of women. And it's not only about Wangari Maathai and Mother Karoa and Mekatilili Wamenza. It is you who I'm speaking to right now. It is any woman who every woman's story is a story. Every woman's experience is a story. So tell us your story. Now go to Gemini Spice magazine. Tell us your story. I will be interviewing you too, Nairobi feminist. I want to know your story. So, welcome to Gemini Spice magazine.
I
I mean,
will. I would love to be on your magazine.
yeah.
So,
I am
what's
created
where can
for
we reach
women.
you? What your social
Um.
media platforms?
Wow, 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 wow. If you want to get to me personally, Wambui Ochieng everywhere. It's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Mostly Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. I don't use Twitter a lot. You can reach me there. If you want to reach Gemini Spice Magazine, it's Gemini Spice Magazine across all platforms. When it comes to sikimyii on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So yeah, just sikimyii. All our information are on our social media platforms. Just I like working with people, but people who are committed, people who can see a vision, people who do not need to be pushed around too hard. So yeah, I want to work with people. I want to have a girls team. A girls team. I want to have a table, a round table, an office table full of women, just women giving ideas. If we are fighting, let's fight about somebody's idea being stupid, not about, other
Silly
stupid
things.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want us to talk about how we are going to establish an all female led company, an all female led government. How we are going to have a woman as president in Kenya? I mean, that is we are too far gone. I've been
Martha Karua
campaigning
is
and
coming up.
campaigning.
Martha Karua will be our first president. I am
Okay,
hoping.
okay,
I
okay.
am
We'll
hoping.
campaign for her. I don't care. You see, people say at when I say we need a woman as president, people say, oh, it's not the gender, but the manifesto. Me, I don't
No,
give a
it is
fuck
the
really.
gender.
I don't give a fuck about that. I want a woman. I don't care if she'll come and eat all the money. Men have eaten the money before, so at least for once, let a woman eat it. I don't care. I mean, as long as it's a woman. I am a champion
Okay.
for women's rights and women's wrongs. So I am done. I am done explaining to people. And I think all feminists in this world should be done trying to be good, trying to be moral, trying to appease men and other women, trying to, to look nice. Now just get rid of that bullshit. Just be you. If you're women, if you're a woman for women, just be for women. Don't care about what other people say. Don't worry about what the patriarchy will say. Oh, so now you hate men. Yes, I hate men. And don't care because they will always have something to say so that they can drain you and derail you. So if you're a woman out there, a feminist, kicking butt, just keep kicking. I hope we'll get to a point where women can be proud of saying that they are feminist. But if we do not get there, then I am very comfortable with having women live feminist lives than even women saying we are feminists. Yeah.
True to that. So I'd like to thank
Mm,
you so much for coming on. I love your energy. I love what you're doing, and I can't
mm,
wait to work with you on more projects as well. So I am going to be sharing all your details under this post. So make sure you check it
yeah.
out. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on
I've
all
already
social media
subscribed.
platforms. You
I
can
have
catch us.
subscribed.
You can catch me at the Nairobi Feminist, and I will be sharing all those links below. So I love you for listening. Goodbye for now. The Nairobi
Thank
Feminist.
you. Bye bye.